Hello, YouTube viewers. I'm Sandalwood99, and this.
SoulCatcher 1231. The SoulCatcher 1231.
There you go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And today we are going to be reviewing an anime series known as Death Note.
If you're an anime fan and you haven't seen this, stop watching this video and go watch it right now.
If you're anyone and you haven't seen this,
watch it right now.
wait until this review is over, then go watch it.
Well, okay, yeah, after the review.
Because this is
We'll try not to give any spoilers.
This is the pinnacle of. This is what every anime should strive to be. The concept, because we haven't explained it yet, for those of you who've been living in Iraq and have never seen this anime, is basically there's a
Or any anime.
there's a young young man named.
He's 18.
He's 18.
Light Yagami.
Light Yagami, and he is the most brilliant student in all of Japan. Except he's unbearably bored with his life, and he kind of has this really satirical and depressing view of the world, depressingly blatant view of the world. And he discovers one day a notebook, a simple black notebook with the supernatural power that whenever you write someone's name in it, they die. And now, of course, there are all these rules where you can specify the time, the place, the conditions, the cause of death, and all these little rules we will not get into, Stephen.
And what do you think the Death Note was called? I mean, the book, because I just said it was called the Death Note.
Death Note. And there's this character right here on the cover of Volume 3 of Death Note. His name's Ryuk, and he is a Shinigami. And the Shinigami are the original owners of the Death Note, and he kind of serves as this objective third person who kind of doesn't really have interest in the human world, and he's just sort of there for kicks, literally for kicks.
Basically, the Shinigamis live in their own kind of realm.
That's
and
run down.
It's run down and really, really boring there. And what they do is they write names in the Death Note so they can stay alive, so they won't die. But if you do that, it's a sort of work, and people and the other Shinigamis make.
And the other thing is,
it's really, really boring. Sorry, I'll let you go in a second. It's really, really boring there, and so to amuse himself, he drops a Death Note to Earth
to see,
and then follows this character Light Yagami around as to see what he would do with the Death Note.
Yes.
To entertain himself, basically.
Yes. And there are a lot of philosophical. Oh, before we get into that, the major conflict in this is there's a character named L who heads up an international police organization called the ICPO. And L is the coolest character ever invented. He's so awesome.
It's close. It's close with Yagami. I didn't really like Yagami.
This show has so many awesome characters.
Anyways,
L is the most brilliant detective ever, and he begins to try. He notices that all these people are obviously dying of heart attacks. Everyone's noticing, and he just determines. He decides that this is not a natural phenomenon, and he has to figure out how they're dying and who's behind it. And how he goes about it is so smart. We will not spoil anything because we will never forgive ourselves as we do. But he's so smart. Seriously, watch the first episode. If you do not love it, watch the second episode. If you do not love it, beat yourself. Because there's no reason not to love this anime.
And
it's so brilliant. And there's so much philosophical ramifications. Obviously, in terms of the Shinigami, does the purpose of life. No, they don't have any purpose of life because their life is infinite and even
life isn't infinite. If
it pretty much is though.
Yes,
they have the option of living forever.
The only thing that didn't make sense to me is he talks about how they don't write in the Death Note to stay alive because they don't want to be made fun of by the other Shinigami. So how are they still alive if they're not writing in the Death Note?
I think it's sort of like you know everyone does it, but it's just sort of if you do it when you're hanging out with your friends. It's no, quiet you. That's not what it's like at all.
Didn't you tell us you weren't going to make any noise?
Oh yeah, you fail. Basically, the point is, it's just sort of socially frowned upon. It's like something you all have to do, but it's not something you really want to do. It's like using the facilities. And
by facilities, of course, he means the restroom, washroom, crapper, the loo. Just
the toilet was invented by someone called Johnny Crapper.
Quiet. Go outside and use the phone.
Crazy lightning.
Crazy lightning, get out.
Go.
Bad dog. Anyways.
Sit.
Don't tell him to sit.
Why?
Okay, go use the phone.
Play dead.
There were like...
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can nitpick this because I love it so much. Like, is there anything you do not like about this series?
The character of what is her name? Misa.
Misa.
That's the one. The character of Misa. Well, they call her Misa.
They do. But that's her stage name.
Oh, okay. Well, Misa or Misa or Misa Amane, whatever you want to call her. Her character drove me nuts at points. Absolutely insane. Especially when she was first being introduced, and she kind of comes in like amidst all this intelligent back and forth between Light Yagami and L. They're just having this big intelligent battle of wits, trying to see who gets to who first. And then she just kind of jumps in with all these stupid acts, looking like a total idiot, making Kira look totally stupid.
The thing is, she's necessary because she advances the plot.
She's necessary. I'm not saying she's necessary, and I'm not saying the show wouldn't be the same with her character, but her character drives me completely insane at times. It's not all the time.
But it's not her fault, and it's just because everyone else in the character is so powerful and so brilliant, and even though she herself is powerful because she has the Death Note and the Shinigami does.
Well, just don't talk about the Shinigami.
No, of course. Even though she does have a Death Note, she is still powerful because she's only an average person. In fact, probably just a little bit dumber. She comes across as incredibly ditzy. And that's...
she did have her moments where she was somewhat intelligent. Like, she was actually pretty intelligent. There was something she did with one of those tapes. I can't remember what it was.
We won't talk about it because...
I know, but there was something
and there was something in the Yotsuba arc that she was... She did something in the Yotsuba arc.
Yeah, she did Yotsuba arc with the...
She has
You're talking about the thing in the car, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay. And
that was good.
She has very brilliant moments.
Although she did get lucky on that. She did get lucky on that, though. If they put the cameras in there any sooner, she would have been screwed.
Do you want to talk about the character Matsuda? Because I love him. I love Matsuda.
I like
Matsuda
him.
is comic relief the entire series, and you love him because he's so high energy, even though he doesn't really do anything useful.
He's kind of like the new guy. Like
he's the new guy on the force.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm so excited and ready to find Kira, but he doesn't know what he's doing, and you feel sorry for him. And then he has this complete
his morals are like so just like everything. They're what completely guide him, and so he seems
are
kind of stupid to other people.
And he becomes.
They think he's act stupid, but he's just trying to follow his own morals.
He becomes the manifestation of all of humanity. Everyone else in the task force has their own morals, and they're like, oh, I don't care what society says, blah, 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 blah. And Matsuda's like, maybe Kira's not so bad. I mean, he's trying to change the world. And you kind of like, everyone else is like, I hate Kira. He's so vicious.
He kind of teeters on the edge through the entire series. Because at points he's like, well, maybe he's not wrong. And then he's like, well, I'm not trying to back Kira.
He's not. He's just trying to say he understands why people support him because of what he does.
Yeah.
Which is why I love him. And he has that awesome moment in the last episode. Yes.
I also love that one drunken thing he does.
That was really good too.
Yeah. But quickly,
we have to talk about Light's father.
By far, I thought he was like one of the greatest people on the task force. Other than L, he was like.
And the guy whose afro grows.
Are we running out of time? We're at 8 minutes. I thought it was 9. Okay.
There was a guy named Aizawa, and his afro seemed to grow and shrink.
Yeah. One episode it's like giant, the next
we made
episode
jokes
it's like
that it got bigger when the scene was dramatic.
Yes, I actually think it did. Like
I think it does. But Light's father, who I have to spoil this for you. He is the chief of police.
What's his name?
Sotoichi. Sotoichi is the director of the NPA, the National Police Academy or Association, and essentially, he is one of the only characters who never does anything immoral. Like, he's totally...
Well, Matsuda never did anything immoral, did he?
In the last episode.
True.
And he's totally there, and you see him, and you want to help him because he so passionately believes that he has to capture Kira, and the world's going to go better when he captures Kira. Little does he know his son, who he loves so much, is the very thing he's fighting to destroy. And his plight is just so emotional that I just
That was a little bit of a spoiler alert, because you really don't find out that he's his dad until like the 3rd episode.
Well, that doesn't even matter, because he's not even that important until the 3rd episode. And I told them it was a spoiler alert. It's so amazing. Now, quickly, we only have 30 seconds. Oh, I want to warn you, I can't watch any other anime now because I've seen this show.
Although I disagree with him on that point. Okay. I can still watch animes. I think there are other animes that are quite good. Like Naruto and Bleach. Very good animes. Oh, shut up.
What do you give Death Note all 36 episodes of pure awesomeness? It is 36. No, 32, you're right.
I give it a 10.
9.5. No, 10. I can't give it anything less than a 10.